people have also benefited from the AstraZeneca shots being administered free of charge. How far? So far. That is the focus of our discussion on Panorama today, coming to you live from Ibadan Zonal Center. I am Kemi Oshi. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a strong presentation to member nations of the international community to work individually and bilaterally towards achieving global peace, which he described as crucial to sustainable development. Addressing 6 new ambassadors and high commissioners posted to Nigeria, the president also made a case for concerted efforts towards mitigating the spread of COVID-19 and the impact of its infection on humanity. State House correspondent Adamuza Sambo has the reports.
It was a highly befitting diplomatic welcome for the new envoys on arrival at the seat of the Nigerian government to formally assume official responsibilities. They are High Commissioner Muhammadu Musa Nji of the Gambia, Kim Yong Chai of the Republic of South Korea, Thomas Felix of Slovak Republic, John Gerard Donnelly of Australia, High Commissioner Masadur Rahman of Bangladesh, and Ambassador Yao Riberi Butiamko of Guinea-Bissau. President Muhammadu Buhari, who received their letters of credence individually, said Nigeria enjoys very good bilateral relations with their countries, stressing, however, that the cordiality expanded in the greater interests of their people.
In addition to the fraternal relations between us, the one thing Nigeria has in common with your countries is peace. Peace is priceless, desirable and crucial to sustainable development and achieving the targets set by the United Nations global initiatives. Achieving global peace is vital to attaining food security. Peace and food security should be pursued simultaneously.
The president also emphasized the need for the countries to come together towards addressing prevailing challenges of terrorism, insurgency, displacement of persons, climate change, population explosion, human trafficking, corruption, poverty, and proliferation of small arms and light weapons, which he said are either sources of conflict or resultant consequences.
These challenges, though on a diverse scale, threaten the existence of humanity and human relations. These challenges underscore the need for the international community to work together to collectively identify appropriate measures to globally overcome these challenges.
Describing the novel coronavirus as humanity's greatest threat, President Buhari said the pandemic does not only affect public health, but also devastates people's economy and livelihood, hence the need for collaborative efforts at mitigating its spread despite the vaccine rollout.
Enhancing the existing cordial bilateral relations between our countries remains a priority. I therefore implore you, in the course of your duties in Nigeria, to build on the successes of your predecessors.
As each of us embark on this tour of duty, would like to reassure Your Excellency that we will spare no effort to contribute our modest but sincere contribution to the strengthening of the excellent relations of fraternity and solidarity that have always existed between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and our respective countries.
During the colorful ceremony held in compliance with the COVID-19 safety protocols, President Buhari wished the new envoys a very successful tenure and promised Nigeria's continued cooperation in fulfillment of their mandates. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has granted audience to former head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar, State House correspondent Adam Sambo again reports that the high-level engagement between the president and former Nigerian leader was held behind closed door. Details of their discussion that lasted about 30 minutes were not made public, and efforts to hear from the former head of state proved abortive. NTA News, however, learned that the issues relating to the state of the nation and way forward were analyzed. General Abdulsalami Abubakar is the chairman, National Peace Committee, conceptualized in 2014 in response to emerging threats associated with general elections. The president also received the chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and former governor of Lagos State, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is sustaining favorable climate for socio-economic as well as political transformation of the country, as well as other states actors on the African continent. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the president was speaking at the 30th summit of the African Peer Review held virtually.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, joined other African leaders and multilateral partners to participate in the virtual conference, was emphatic that Nigeria is developing far-reaching measures to complement the strategic growth plan of improving infrastructure and human resources.
The adoption of the roadmap for the second review of Nigeria, the strategic tactical meeting in preparation for the self-assessment process on the conduct of the second review.
He appreciated the excellent role played by chairman of the forum and president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, in the coordination of African peer review mechanism and appealed for its sustenance. The president dwelt more on strategies being put in place to have a strong and viral economy for the general well-being of the citizens, acknowledging the honor done to Nigeria's chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim, who is now a member of the panel of eminent persons for West African certificate. The minister, on behalf of the federal government, sympathized with African leaders on the sad passing of the Pan-African leader and president of Tanzania, John Magufuli, saying his demise has robbed the continent of one of its finest public figures. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, alongside Secretary to the State Government, have received the first dose of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine to kickstart vaccination in Oyo State. Correspondent Ayomi Kwajibola captured the governor's vaccination.
2 weeks after receiving 127,740 AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines from the federal government, flag off COVID-19 vaccination in Oyo State, taking his first jab of the vaccine alongside the Secretary to the State Government, Olubamiwo Adeosun. Speaking shortly after his first jab of the vaccine, Governor Seyi Makinde appealed to people of the Paysetter state not to doubt the efficacy of the vaccine, saying this is the only way to eradicate the pandemic in the state. He commended the frontline health workers for doing a great job in stemming the spread of the virus in the state.
And I want, on this note, let our people know that the process is open, is simple. Have confidence in the process, have confidence in your government, and have confidence in the health family in Oyo State.
The event kickstarts COVID-19 vaccination.
Time from Irabuji, Osun State, Joshua Obuji, NTA News.
COVID-19 vaccination in Ijebu-Ode is gathering momentum with enthusiasm by residents in the first phase of the exercise. Correspondent Joel Kukola reports that those who took the jab dispelled speculations and anxieties surrounding AstraZeneca vaccine.
The first phase of the statewide vaccination against COVID-19, which is ongoing simultaneously in 4 centers in Ijebu-Ode, was received with enthusiasm. Frontline health workers, senior citizens, strategic leaders, and other vulnerable people are the main scope of the vaccination, but those outside this category are also welcome, according to health officials who declined comment on camera. Alhaji Kamarudin Alaga, who has undergone the vaccination process, has been allaying the fears on the likely side effects, with many of his family members emulating him.
It's okay, it's very well, it's fine, doesn't do anything to me. Even when they started the thing there, I didn't feel it, but I'm told that I should rest for 10 minutes before I move.
Many like Bolanle and others who were hitherto skeptical about the safety of the AstraZeneca vaccine are now confident that they are safe as more Nigerians continue to take the jab.
Initially, I don't want to take it, but my boss from office said we should just come. But after taking it, just like a woman that is pregnant that is taking TT, anti-tetanus, before you deliver.
The first phase of the vaccination witnessing a remarkable success, respondents urged government to do more public enlightenment on the safety of the vaccine. In Ijebu-Ode, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And with me in the studio is the Executive Secretary of your State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Muideen Olatunji. You're welcome to Panorama Studio.
Thank you.
We've seen some of the reports on the vaccination, and I want to ask that here in Oyo State, what is the state of the vaccination?
Well, thank you. Oyo State commenced vaccination exercise after the flagging off by Excellency, the Executive Governor of the state, Engineer Olosheyi Makinde. And afterwards, we are now moving into the selected facilities where people will be coming forward to assess the vaccination. And we are paying special attention to some specific institution like University College Hospital, whereby you have large number of healthcare personnel. Then we are considering as well other first responders, which include the police, NSCDC, and special categories of people like that as the frontline workers.
Okay,
so that's how we're going about it now.
This is the first phase of the administration of the vaccine here, and like how many people are we looking at?
Well, the total doses we have in Oyo State is 127,740, and one person will be only entitled to a dose. So that perhaps is the number you look at, but you may not be able to reach that target because why? There will be some wastages factor that we're going to factor into the administration.
Okay, so far, how would you interpret the attitude of people to the vaccine?
Well, quite impressive. Like in your report, there was initial hesitancy, and immediately the governor took the jab. Right there at the ESCO chamber, it actually sparked the interest of many people to actually come forward and take it. Before the commencement of the program, some were actually a little bit, hesitant whether they will take it or not. But before you can even leave the venue, it got so late because everybody was just rushing over themselves to make sure they got. Even as at now, the number of people actually coming forward to take the vaccine is quite impressive.
Okay, beyond the executive and others.
We did a flag up yesterday. Then today we commenced the program in earnest.
Okay, and the attitude of the people?
Yeah, those that are supposed to, those people that are not even supposed to be in this phase are actually coming forward and asking. We are only trying to appeal to them to know your own phase will surely come, but let's quickly give to those that are considered for this first phase.
Okay, so when do we expect it to get to the elderly?
I would not want to be specific on that one now. Okay. We'll be going to the second phase from age of 15 and above. That's the next phase, but it will depend on when the vaccine arrives and we get a signal from the national.
Okay, now generally looking at those who have benefited from the jab and has there been any adverse event so far?
Like any immunization exercise or any vaccination, we expect there could be some simple adverse events that will be following it. And so far, we've never seen anyone that is so fatal. What we've been having now lately, maybe mild fever, or in some few people, they have cheese or regular, and within 1 or 2 or 3 hours. Somebody was even asking me, after he took the jab. He called me the next day, asking that, does the vaccine treat malaria? I said, why did you ask whether the vaccine treats malaria? I said, because when he took it, he had a little bit of cheese and rigor in the night. But by the following morning, he became so energized, that became so strong, that he thought the vaccine has treated malaria. I said, no, you don't have malaria. You only thought you have malaria. What you saw is what is expected by the vaccination, but it doesn't treat malaria, but he got better with it.
Okay, so what should people do at this initial?
Well, we will encourage every person from the age of 18 to make effort and register online, so that the process will become faster and easier when you come for the proper vaccination. Because we are sharing the site for every person now. Now this is the era of social media. We are sharing it on different platforms, so people can actually go forward and register, so that when they come for actual vaccination, the process becomes seamless and faster.
Quickly, before I let you go, I would like you to talk about the storage facility for the vaccine and how the state is coping.
There's nothing to worry about the storage facility. We have a very huge and strong cold store in the state, and even the amount we have, the facility we have, is the part we use. We are using about 1/50 of the capacity that it can actually store. And then we have a coaching equipment to move it from one point to the other when we have to move to the facilities. So we have cold boxes, then we have coaching equipment in different primary care facilities that we are going to be using.
Across the
and they are on solar, not on electricity, that we are afraid of, whether the power outage, is on permanent solar. Then we have code boxes and geostar that we can use.
Thank you very much. I have been speaking with the Executive Secretary of the Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board in person of Dr. Muideen Olatunji. Thanks for coming on Panorama
It's my pleasure being here.
And we'll now take a break. When we come back, Panorama continues.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. 97 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Nigeria in the last 24 hours. In the figure released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the new infections were from 14 states, and the FCT, with Lagos State having the highest number with 50 cases. A statement by State's chart shows that Kaduna is second with 12 new cases, then FCT with 10, Bayelsa 8, Imo and Kwara State 3 each. Others with infections are Bauchi and Osun with 2 and 1 each for Akwa Ibom, Edo, Kano, Ogun, Oyo, Plateau and Zamfara. To complete the tally, with this, Nigeria now has 162,275 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 149,882 were treated and discharged, while the death count has reached 2,036. Let's now join Tamara Ebiwe for sports updates.
With Burkina Faso and Guinea picking tickets to next year's Africa Cup on Wednesday, analysts believe the remaining matchday 5 fixtures this weekend will bring out the best in the contending teams as the battle rages on.
we know how upsets come about when it comes to the qualifiers or even in competition. So they have to keep their eyes peeled. So then you have the match between Sierra Leone, the match between Lesotho and Sierra Leone. For me, it's a 50-50 match.
Oyo State and Kwara State will file out in the final match of the 38th Ramat Cup in Kano on Friday, after both teams claimed semi-final victories, with Oyo beating Ogun 2-1, while Kwara defeated Bauchi by a lone goal. And finally, as the maiden National Principals Cup enters its final in Abuja, coordinator of the tournament and director of grassroots sports development at Demola Are tasked national sports federations on proactiveness as a means of boosting the sector.
They must go back to age group competitions, not waiting for Olympic Games, All African Games, and then waiting for federal government to dole out money for them.
The national finals of the maiden Principals Cup is slated for March 27 to 30 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. With sports update, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
And do stand with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, against rape and rapists.